KTA here. We right back at it with some Jacksonville daily game ball, man. It's Ace and Young and Ace versus Julio Fulio. Yeah, I'm coming with some more content too, so y'all just stay tuned for that. Uh, you see what I got right here? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't copyright me. Yeah, nah, we just finna get into it. So get your snacks and stuff, and then just come enjoy it with me, y'all.
When he was asked why rappers in Jacksonville beef, Fulio said that there were 3 reasons.
That nigga, it be a respect thing, then it be a nigga neighborhood where you from, and then it be niggas dead homeboys. Like you disrespecting my dead homeboys, so now I want to diss your dead. You get what I'm saying?
Well, you are going to see a heck of a lot of all 3 of those things going on throughout this beef. Weirdly, apparently Fulio was even cool with some of the ATK members back in the day, with Fulio having said numerous times that some of the ATK members, like Whopper with a Chopper, having appeared in one of his early music videos.
Whopper and all them type niggas, they used to be in my videos type shit.
Meanwhile, Spinner Benz has said himself that he's been involved in street beefs since the early years of 2012. Now look, it's pretty difficult to trace things back right to the beginning when these beefs kicked off between whoever was involved back in the early days. And it's clear that a lot of the bad blood in the Jacksonville gang community has been passed down from older generations of gangsters that have been beefing over all sorts of things for years and years. But at the very least, there are a handful of inciting incidents that can help explain some of the earliest catalysts in the beef between ATK and KTA. The killing of 22-month-old Aiden McClendon on January 2016 was an early milestone in the PCE gang war. It's been alleged that the drive-by that ended up killing that child was a direct retaliation for a shooting that happened earlier that day. But when you look closer at that particular case, it was actually revealed that things had kicked off a year before this, with these 2 crews facing off at a Kodak Black concert in Jacksonville. Apparently Kodak was on the road playing a show in Jacksonville when members
Leader of Florida niggas.
from both sides found themselves in attendance. First Coast News published an article about the Aiden McClendon case, which suggested that it was actually a turned-down handshake at this Kodak Black show, which led to a fist fight, which led to tit-for-tat shootings, ultimately culminating in the Aiden McClendon case. This beef was apparently between members of PCE and 187 Out West, the crews that would later evolve into KTA and ATK respectively. So in November 2015, these 2 crews have a beef over a handshake at a Kodak Black concert. In December 2015, Suge, real name Avery McKnight, is killed in a drive-by that injured 2 others, including a 3-year-old child.
That's kind of clever. His name is Suge, and his real name McKnight. That's kind of...
KTA and ATK respectively. So in November 2015, these 2 crews have a beef over a handshake at a Kodak Black concert. In December 2015, Suge, real name Avery McKnight, is killed in a drive-by that injured 2 others, including a 3-year-old child.
In the last 90 minutes, we've learned 3 people were shot, and the search is on now for 2 suspects.
JSO says they spoke to a witness who saw a black Toyota Camry speed off from this area. This is the area where the shooting happened. The man who died was actually shot right on the front porch of the 2-story house you see just down the street with the rusted roof.
And for the record, it's been referenced in both songs and YouTube documentaries that somehow a bicycle was involved in the Suge killing. Now, as we get into 2016, this is a period where the beef between these 2 crews gets a little bit hazy. There's plenty of unsubstantiated rumors floating around the internet regarding robberies, fights, and shootings between these crews following the killing of Aiden McClendon. I'm sure there was plenty of bloodshed between these 2 groups in 2016, but the one thing we know for sure is that the most devastating escalation of this beef took place on May 27th, 2017. On this day, Fulio's blood cousin, 18-year-old Zion Brown, aka Tweaking Jit, was at home with his younger sisters aged 16 and 9. Allegedly, somebody from the ATK side of the beef smashed through a glass door on the house with a brick, entering Brown's home, firing multiple shots, killing Zion Brown, and hitting his 2 younger sisters.
The teenager tells News4Jax that her family was woken up about 1:30 in the morning Saturday when a brick came crashing through a sliding glass door in the back of their house.
18-year-old Zion Brown was the only adult in the
She was so ready to say that. She said, "It's you."
home along with 2 teens, a 9-year-old and a 6-year-old boy.
According to witnesses, Thomas broke out a sliding glass door, walked inside, and began shooting, hitting a 9-year-old and a teenager. They are recovering. 18-year-old Zion Brown died at the hospital.
DeAndre Thomas, aka Trey Shorty, was identified as the shooter and ended up facing murder and double attempted murder charges.
Police make an arrest in a shooting that killed an 18-year-old.
Today, police said DeAndre Thomas was the shooter. They charged him with murder.
Story goes, the wounded 16-year-old girl who survived the incident identified DeAndre as the shooter, apparently already knowing him as a mutual friend on Facebook. Now, here's where things get a bit crazy, because that shooter had previously been charged as an accomplice in a robbery case with youngin Ace as his co-defendant. Now, a lot of speculation has been thrown around since this incident as to whether Ace had any knowledge of the hit, or if he or somebody he knows was even an accomplice there that day. For the record, there is absolutely no public evidence that Ace was involved in that hit. However, the news did say that they believe that Trey Shorty was not alone when he entered Zion Brown's home.
Investigators believe Thomas was not alone when he shot Brown and 2 children.
Regardless, Trey Shorty was later found guilty of the murder of Zion Brown and sentenced to life in prison, where he remains today, having lost all of his freedom as well as his hair. Now, Zion's sister even ended up dropping a tribute song for her fallen brother, and her involvement in this story is going to get crazy later on, so just remember her and what she had going on. But regardless, after what happened to Zion Brown, even with Trey Shorty in jail, the KTA side of the beef knew that somebody else was involved in this incident, and they were looking for get back. In the months that followed, the ops were hungry for revenge on the ATK side of the beef. In a May 2018 interview with My Mixtapes, youngin Ace said that during this period, his house had been shot up with his own mother inside it.
This used to be my room right here. Them boys shot my house up. I was right there on the bed, me and my little brother Quan. They shot my mama's house up. They shot this part right here. My mama was in the room. They shot that bitch up. My house always got shot up. They always spent on my shit. But then we doubling back though, for real. Come here though.
However, I doubt Ace could have possibly ever imagined just how bad things could have gotten following this incident. Because soon Ace would be facing tragedy on a scale I don't think I've ever seen in hip-hop or even crime history before. I'm talking about that terrifying and tragic night when Ace lost 3 of his closest friends right in front of his very eyes.
It's like no other school in the nation.
Not what you expect in a 4-year university.
Oh yeah!
On Tuesday, the 5th of June, 2018, youngin Ace was out celebrating the 18th birthday of his close friend, 23, aka RJ, real name Royale Devon Smith Jr. They were seen with Ace's blood brother Quan, real name Trayvon Bullard, as well as their other friend, 4, aka Kobe, real name Jacoby Deshard Groover. And the 4 boys were seen posting on social media in good spirits on their way to dinner.
We ain't supposed to go pouring that money out on me, nigga. I made it, ain't understand it all.
So these 4 young men were out celebrating and having a meal at the Wasabi Japanese Steakhouse in Jacksonville's St. John's Town Center. This is an open-air mall in the southeast of Jacksonville. Now, while they were there, they made numerous posts to social media, and perhaps it was these very posts right outside the restaurant that they ate at that alerted the ops of Ace and his friend's location. I mean, this image, for example, quite clearly shows the red shutters at the back of that Wasabi restaurant. And I mean no disrespect, but I've never been to Jacksonville in my entire life, but I was able to spot the exact place that they were standing on Google Maps within minutes of pulling up this area on Street View, not even looking that hard. Now, Ace has gone on to say in numerous interviews that he really regrets letting his guard down on this day.
We don't never go out to eat because we don't do nothing fun.
Right, yeah.
So that was like our first time going out like that. And like, I ain't gonna lie, we was slipping.
According to Ace's Vlad TV interview, after the meal, the 4 boys were hanging out in the area and things were cool, perhaps too cool.
We was coming from Wasabi. It was my little brother's 23rd birthday. And we was just hanging. We pulled up to the light. We was leaving and shit. We was really hanging. Like I said, we were hanging out though. We weren't, you know what I'm saying? We was just hanging out though. We had our guard down. That's what it was.
Now, allegedly, a witness said that there was some kind of argument or altercation between the 4 guys and some other boys at the location they had dinner. However, this is a detail that youngin Ace has never acknowledged in an interview. However, what he has stated is that he felt that there were people hiding and waiting in that parking lot for his friends to leave.
Ain't nobody just gonna just creep up on me like that.
Yeah.
They have to been sitting outside.
So after leaving the restaurant, the 4 boys got in a car and drove to the intersection at Town Center Parkway and St. John's Bluff. With the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office saying that when they got to the red light, another unidentified vehicle pulled up alongside their Chevy sedan, opening fire and then speeding off.
Police say the shooter or shooters pulled up in a car next to the victims at the 295 and Town Center Parkway stoplight before opening fire. Last night we showed you one side of the Chevy sedan full of bullet holes.
This scene was frankly a bloodbath. Some have said that as many as 120 bullets were fired from automatic weapons. And Ace himself later described the scene of the crime in a harrowing, complex interview.
Oh, you hear shots out the blue at the red light. One of them hit my hand right here. When it hit my hand, my phone dropped. I blinked out, but I could hear my little brother on the side of 23. My blood little brother was behind me, and my brother 4 was on the side of him. I blinked out. I even forget my little brother behind me. But I hear 23 screaming on the side of me and like shield him, like from getting hit. You feel what I'm saying? One of my brothers named 4, he was sitting on the behind the driver's seat. He told me to call the ambulance, but 23 on the floor telling me like, I can't move. I can't move, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, unlock the door, open the door, open the door. He trying to open it, but he can't really move how he want to. So I end up unlocking the door. They still shooting though, you hear me? So I opened the door and I push them out. While I'm pushing them out, I'm coming out too though. So he ripped my shirt. So, but when we got out, the car was still dry, so it kept moving. So I go put it in the park. But I'm moving around. I'm not knowing how many times I'm shot, but I know I'm shot. I think I got shot in like my legs or some shit. But I got shot in my butt.
Fortunately, Young and Ace survived the shooting, but he was hit 8 times. However, all 3 of his friends were less fortunate and lost their lives. Ace's blood brother, Trayvon Bullard, aka Quan Quan, aka 2 times, was shot 3 times, including a shot to the head. 23, aka RJ, real name Royale Devon Smith Jr., was shot around 5 times. And 4, aka Kobe, aka Jacoby Deshard Groover, was shot around 12 times. I can't imagine how hurt Ace's heart and body were after this incident. Ace was seen laid up in the hospital, hurt pretty bad, but managed to fight through it and recover in what can only be described as a genuine miracle. But it can't have been easy. In fact, a clip even circulated on social media seemingly depicted Ace in the hospital, looking kind of delirious off the painkillers, replaying the incident.
I'm trying to come forward, I'm trying to hold RJ. I'm trying to hold him, I'm trying to RJ open the door. I open the door, I'm pushing him out. I'm like, bro, I got you, bro, I got you. He grabbed my shirt, I'm like, bro, I can't move. He tell me he can't move, I jump out the car. Cope open the door. Cope said, call it anywhere. Come on.
But to make things even worse, Ace ended up getting done pretty dirty by the authorities and the American health system. Because Ace apparently didn't have any medical insurance, and the sheriff's department that should have stepped in and made sure that he got the medical care that he needed didn't do that, with Ace basically not getting the medicine he needed and being thrown out of the hospital early, with numerous bullets still inside him.
He'd been shot 8 times, and I believe at that point we had 3 or 4 or 8 bullets inside of him still, considering he really needed to go to a hospital. Because he didn't have insurance, the hospital wouldn't take the bullets out of him. So while he was in custody, it was really became that part, it was the responsibility of the sheriff's office to make sure he got the medical care he needed. Sheriff's office didn't give him medical care, they didn't give him antibiotics, and they basically just left him in there.
Ace would later post to Instagram following the incident, saying he got 8 shots to the body but survived, as well as suggesting that he had tried to shield his brother 23 from the bullets, something he elaborated on in heartbreaking detail in this DJ Vlad interview.
So I tried to shield him and make sure he was good, but I couldn't shield everybody though.
Ace went on to memorialize his 3 fallen brothers in his flesh, tattooing all 3 of their faces onto his stomach.
It's his name 2 times, right in the middle.
Okay.
23 on the side. That's 23 my best friend.
Okay.
Hey, I love him a little bit. Shit.
Now, initially, cops put it out there publicly that this was gang-related.
Right now, JSO is searching for whoever fired the shots that killed 3 teenagers and sent a 4th to the hospital.
JSO says the shooting was not a random act and that one of the victims and the survivor are gang members.
Keontae Bullard, known as Young Ace, is the sole survivor of a quadruple shooting not far from the St. John's Town Center. His 3 teenage friends, Trayvon Bullard, Royale Devon Smith Jr., and Jacoby Deshard Grover, were killed. Ace's friend spoke with Action News Jax anonymously.
Yeah, they killed 3 people, but one of them still alive, so whoever they come back for.
However, despite Jacksonville's amazing detectives working out that this was gang-related, there was 0 arrests made in the case. Another detail Ace recounted with great discomfort in his Vlad interview.
Were there any arrests made in this whole situation?
Oh, no.
No.
Oh wait, no, scratch that. The cops actually did make one arrest after this incident, Ace himself, who ended up in jail, still injured, for violating his probation because he had been seen at a gun store earlier that day holding an unloaded firearm in a gun store, which apparently he wasn't allowed to do.
Police say Kenyatta Bullard, who is also known by his rapper name Young and Ace, is charged with violation of probation. Last October, Bullard was sentenced to 31 months probation after appearing before a Clay County judge and pleading no contest to accessory after the fact.
Well, police say he had a firearm on him, which is against his probation, of course. So this morning, he is in jail, set to make his first appearance in less than an hour from now. It appears some people, though, are a bit upset and angry about Bullard's arrest. JSO says its communications center received nearly 700 calls in about an hour and a half's time because of a social media post related to the arrest. They say the post advises he is supposed to be in the hospital right now, but is in jail instead.
Kent, when we put Kenyatta Bullard's image on the news that night, someone who had been at Shooters here on University Boulevard recognized him from just hours earlier. Hours before the shooting, he was shopping at Shooters on University Boulevard.
So they had Ace all up in court, denying him bail, while he was still suffering from his injuries, with 6 bullets still in his body and Ace struggling to even stand. And after getting to jail, things didn't get better for Ace, because they made him shave off his trademark hair and refused to let him go to his brother's funerals. And hell, apparently at one point they even tried to give Ace the YNW Melly treatment, attempting to pin the blame for the triple shooting on Ace himself.
They were like I said, a lot of people, they were blaming me for it. Like, even the police would tell my mama that, oh, I did it.
Later that month, thankfully, Ace's lawyer was able to get him out of jail, but not scot-free. He was placed on house arrest and had his probation reinstated. But at least he was free and able to get back to what really matters. No, not sweet vengeance, music.
Laying in the hospital bed, they shots to my body and on my mind and my brothers. They say, them 3 didn't make it. Tears full of pain, no other way I can take it. Heartbroken, body filled with wounds, the jail ain't giving me my medication. Stuck in confinement, wondering where the hell is my destination. Seeing my mama cry, my motivation. I know I'm blessed, God here to save me. Some say, I'm a walking miracle.
So Ace got out of jail and channeled his emotion and his pain, quite literally, into his music. With a headline track titled Pain, with his song Pain reflecting on the incident and his feelings about it becoming his biggest song at the time. The song Pain was from his Life I'm Living mixtape, which for the record also had the NBA YoungBoy assisted banger Gifted, which makes sense to me because from having listened to quite a lot of Young and Ace, I feel like my best description of him is like a Floridian NBA YoungBoy who's actually a bit easier to understand. Anywho, thankfully, Young and Ace was able to survive this tragic incident, still breathing and still recording. However, there was one person not quite as happy as me to see Ace survive, and that was Foolio. Because if you think disrespecting the dead is somehow something new that was invented by these guys recently, you are mistaken. Because not long after the shooting happened, Foolio took to social media, not only giving the impression that he knew something about the shooting, but also suggesting that he initially thought Ace had passed away too.
Them boy lost the Fortnite match. I took on the cold summer alert, man. 2-3 pack, man. Ace pack, bitch.
I don't know what happened to the nigga Ace and his brother and shit. Get well, Ace, you know, condolences to your family. Fuck them other niggas, I don't give a fuck. Fuck, nigga, no, I don't even really fuck with Ace like that. And I don't really too much give a fuck about none of the situation. But you know, nobody deserved to die. But you know, karma is real. Fuck a nigga talking about, and all you outside rappers that's mad.
In fact, it almost seemed like every single day that passed, Foolio would find a new way to disrespect Ace and his fallen friends. He was having t-shirts printed, Foolio took to his IG story to tell his fans that he was smoking on the ops, going as far to call them by their government names just in case the police's case wasn't tight enough.
Royale Smith, this that 4X, who else that is? Quan, dun, dun, dun.
Around a month after the shooting, Foolio dropped the song Fuck That, which had disses aimed towards Young and Ace and references towards the hit, with Foolio saying he puts on his ski mask, calls up P and tries to shoot threes, saying that chopper turned Ace's team to dust, saying he could have killed a rapper, saying his team are 5 bodies up, and on the chorus of the song, Foolio did one of the craziest things I've ever seen in a rap beef ever, saying that the whole city wants to kill him and then rapping his actual home address. Now, this perhaps wasn't such a good idea, considering the fact that Foolio would later reveal that the same year that he rapped those lyrics, his house got shot up with his mother catching a stray bullet.
Nah, my house had got shot up. The nigga had spent on my house and shit like that, and my mama got hit one time.
Considering how grisly the hit on Ace and On July 23rd, 2018, a reunion was taking place on Jacksonville's east side at Philip Randolph Park, with around 1,000 people in the area. The following Facebook video captured the moment that gunshots were fired in the crowd, causing a panic in the park.
It appears to show a woman running from gunfire at a block party in Jacksonville.
Action News Jax first broke this story last night. Police say a man was killed when dozens of rounds were fired on A. Philip Randolph Boulevard. JSO told Action News Jax Brittany Donovan that 1,000 people were at the block party at that time.
It turns out that these shots had been fired at a man named Lawrence Davis, aka Trey D, aka 8. He was a close friend of Fulio's, who would sadly pass away later in the hospital.
Has identified the 21-year-old man killed during a local reunion on the east side. Investigators said that Lawrence David was shot to death Saturday.
A few weeks after this, 6 Block tried to retaliate for Trey D's killing, an incident where 3 people were shot.
Okay, this is kind of funny. So Lil Popper actually copyright claimed this video before I took it live because he'd used the audio from this news report in a song and put it on Spotify without permission. So I can't show you the news report. And funnily enough, this claim obviously led me to discover that it was actually him that got shot in this incident, Lil Popper. He actually talks about it in the song Purple Heart, which I can't show you any of because he's copyrighted it, but there you go, fun fact.
It was also this month in July 2018 that a young man named Corbin would go missing, and he wouldn't be heard from again for an entire year.
Where is Corbin Johnson? The 18-year-old's parents say they dropped him off last week at a job interview and they never saw him again. Now, if you're thinking maybe the teenager just ran away, Jacksonville police say they don't think so.
Corbin's parents say they have no idea where their son is after his friends called looking for him too. His parents say their son often hung.
Y'all let me know what y'all think. Yeah. Goddamn, nigga ran away after a job interview. I don't know about that one.
Out with friends on the city's east side of town.
Now, unfortunately, also as we get towards the end of 2018, young Ace would unfortunately find himself back in jail again for violating his probation. But what did he do to violate it? He went to the mall without permission. Ace turned himself in, posting a social media clip telling his fans that by the time you see this, I'll already be in jail.
I'm out this bitch now. I ain't gonna lie. Shit, I post this video, I'd be in jail right now. I already knew this shit would come though. They don't want to never see a nigga win, they want to see a nigga, you know what I'm saying? But I knew this was coming. But yeah, they done took me to jail. If you see the video, I'm already in jail. Shit.
Meanwhile, Fulio is continuing to make music and pick up a buzz. It's actually around this time that he drops his 6th Toven project with Zaytoven, as well as the song Dirk's Story, a tribute to that fallen friend of his that passed in 2014, where he told the story of them going from enemies to friends and saying that Dirk was set up. In that song, Fulio also expressed hurt he felt for the murders of his cousin Zion and Trey D, with the music video for Dirk's Story being a basic but very moving montage of throwback pics of Fulio and his friends. However, Fulio would soon go from mourning death to celebrating it, as another significant escalation in this feud would come on the 16th of January 2019. On this day, Young and Ace would release the song 2 Times Screamin', an emotional track reflecting on that night where his bros, including 2 Times, were murdered. However, on that very same day, only months after being released from jail on a whopping 10-year sentence, ATK affiliate Willie Addison, aka Boss Goon, is performing at the Paradise Club in Spring Park on Bat Meadows. However, after he finished performing, he gets into a car and leaves the venue with his blood brother Queso, their father, and 3 other friends. But when that car gets to Emerson Street near Spring Park Road, another car pulls up, opening fire on the packed Chevy Tahoe, with all 6 people inside the car getting hit. Boss Goon unfortunately didn't make it, with his father describing on the news the grisly scene as he drove the whole car to the hospital after they were shot up.
He was in the truck with 5 other people. His dad, Abdul Robinson, was driving.
I guess 2 or 3 cars pulled up on the side of us, shot inside our car over 100 times, killed my son in the front seat, shot my son in the back, in the head 3 times, shot my nephew several times, a couple more passengers in there were shot several times, numerous of times, and I drove all the way from there to Memorial Hospital, shot in the back myself twice.
The murder of Boss Goon was nearly worse than the Ace hit. With 6 people in that car all being hit, it's actually a miracle that 5 of them even survived. Which is why it's doubly disrespectful that immediately after this incident, Fulio was mocking the recently deceased Boss Goon on social media heavily, saying horrible things like he deserved it.
Family and friends tell me he did not deserve
That fuck nigga deserved to die. Bitch ass.
As well as showing off a pack saying that he is smoking on Willie.
The American Pie, that's what we gonna call him, the American Pie Willie. He ain't make it. Willie Wallow, he ain't make it.
Ironically, Willie's father told the news following his son's murder that he wouldn't be seeking revenge.
He wants people to know he's not retaliating for the murder of his son.
I want justice for my son. I'm not sending nobody out there. They got quote unquote, I'm supposed to have hits.
Well, maybe he's not going for revenge, but the same couldn't be said for his other son, Queso. In the weeks that followed the murder of Boscoon, there were deadly shootouts between both of these crews. And 2 weeks after Boscoon's assassination, 50-year-old Damon Rothermel was shot and killed while riding his bike on Emerson Street. An innocent bystander apparently hit by a stray bullet fired during a shootout between 2 cars involved in this beef.
Shortly after 1 p.m. Thursday, Emerson Street became a major crime scene following a deadly shooting. Witnesses say it sounded like a gun battle between 2 parties in separate vehicles. By the time the gunfire ended and the shooters were long gone, a bicyclist was found in the street on the ground. Witnesses say he had been hit by gunfire. The man was pronounced dead at the scene.
Now, the cops would later charge Dominique Barner from ATK with the shooting of this bystander. And remember that for later because it's important. Because Barner wasn't arrested for that crime for over a year. And over this period of time, he would allegedly continue to be a serious shooter for the ATK side. Now, naturally, all of this activity in the streets attracted the attention of the JSO, Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, who swept up numerous KTA affiliates who had been seen in music videos toting guns in what was known as Operation Wrap Up.
6 people arrested in Operation Wrap Up. Right now, police are searching for 3 others.
This is some pictures of videos that they've had, and you can see in these pictures that these men or these teenagers actually have guns and they're pointing at the screen. Now, the sheriff says that these 9 people, even though they're still looking for 3, can be linked to some very serious crimes, recent crimes here in Jacksonville.
However, they clearly didn't get the most motivated of shooters, because allegedly in February 2019, Queso would avenge his fallen brother by taking the life of a KTA affiliate incredibly close to Fulio, killing a 16-year-old boy with probably the most famous name associated with this entire beef, Bibby.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. But yeah, what y'all think, man? That shit is getting kind of crazy. Motherfuckers dropping left and right, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think. We finna definitely just get back into it later, but like I said, there's gonna be more content stuff. We're gonna be watching, you know, movies, videos, all that type of stuff, games, anything, man. But yeah, I just stay tuned, bro, man. Y'all know. So yeah, man. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and I'm out.